Welcome to the TGBN show with your host, Garrett Williamson. Have fun and learn a lot, you know what I'm saying? Yo, what's up? Sorry if you can hear water in the background. I did get a turtle. I will post a link or a video on my channel just to tell you what I've been doing lately, because I haven't been making videos for my gaming channel. But I did adopt into getting a turtle. However, this is an S6 Edge unboxing. It's fairly new, so I'm, you know, at least there's technology that's new, I guess, that I'm unboxing. Relatively new, at least. I did get the Galaxy S6 Edge in a white variant. There is the colors of gold. I believe, actually, there's special colors that they have for them, but I know there's white, gold, and black, which kind of looks like a tingy navy blue. Obviously he has LTE connections, nothing too surprising there. It's a roughly 132 grams. It has Corning Gorilla Glass 4, both on the front and back side of the device, which is pretty sweet. It has a nano SIM, the fingerprint sensor, which is PayPal certified actually. The fingerprint sensor is not a swipe down; it is now just a Touch ID, virtually like the iPhone 5s and 6 and 6 Plus, which is pretty cool. So that's cool, and you can pay in very many areas. Like, there's very many things you can pay with if you want. Obviously PayPal, there's MasterCard, there's debit. You can use a lot of the stuff with the touch pad, which is pretty cool. Has a Super AMOLED capacitive touch screen with 60 million colors. Obviously it's a quad HD display, so it has roughly 555 pixels per inch, which is pretty cool. Obviously it's Samsung, saturated colors, deep blacks, bright colors. Everyone knows about that kind of stuff. It's a 5.1 inch display, so it is the same as the S5 but bigger than the S4. Nothing really new there. What else is really cool? Still the same TouchWiz UI. It has a lollipop, soon to have Android M, whatever that's going to be like. Has 3 gigabytes of RAM, comes in a 32 gig, 64 gig, or 128 gigabyte variant of storage capacity. 16 megapixel camera with obviously autofocus and I can't remember the main one. It has video capture of 1080p 60 frames per second, or QHD or Ultra HD in 30 frames, so that's pretty cool as well. Camera is actually better than the iPhone for once. It actually does beat it, which is quite impressive. The front camera is it's actually a QHD. It can record in QHD 30 frames per second, and is a 5 megapixel camera, which is pretty cool, with LED flash on the back, of course. There's optical image stabilization. Sorry, that's what I meant to say. Pretty cool stuff there. Basically, those are the specs. Everyone knows. I mean, it doesn't have internal store, or it doesn't have expandable storage, which who really cares? It means it's going to be faster. Every time you added a micro SD card, anyways, it made it very noticeably slow. So that was always kind of shitty. The battery should, I believe, it's a 25. What is it? 2600 milliamp hour battery, possibly that, or 2550, something around that. So it should be the standard battery, nothing too incredible there, not a huge advancement on that part, but it is made of glass. The whole thing is made of glass, so it is pretty unique that way. The only problem I actually came across was definitely the cases, because since it's an Edge model, it can only grip the edges of the device, so it's scary. It's a scary thing. Even bumpers are small. Like, they come and they come apart really quickly. I knew that putting on a screen protector would be difficult because it won't bounce off on the edges, because the edges will bounce it back up. But they ended up doing exactly what I thought they'd do. I put it on, and I thought it would mold to the screen like an average screen protector. Well, I didn't think that. I thought it should, but I knew that the corners would bounce up. The parts that are supposed to wrap around the edges of the device, since it is the Edge display, it never did that. So I will have to pick up a new one, or possibly cut one up and then post it just on the main frame of the actual device. So that's pretty cool. It is a pretty expensive device, roughly. Depends what contract you're going for, but pretty cool device so far. It's a big step up from The S2, the original S series, the Galaxy S was great. The S2 was a huge step. The S3 was actually kind of a minuscule step, but that's when it started to actually get really popular, and it was actually in competition with the iPhone category. Not many people knew of the S2. Then S3 bumped to S4, and everyone loved the S4. S4 was awesome. It was a great bump up. S4 to S5 was actually not as big as a bump up. They had a lot of gimmicks on that device. Nothing too extensive in hardware, actually. But for the there's a huge difference from the S5 to the S6 and S6 Edge. You obviously have doubled the core power, or times the core power by 2. So now you have 4 cores, or you have 8 cores, 4 high power cores, 4 low power cores for certain application usage. You have 3 gigabytes of RAM instead of 2. You have the same 16 megapixel camera, but now you have optical stabilization, so pretty cool there. But overall, pretty cool device, and I will be getting to a review soon sometime, so really excited about that, and stay tuned, guys.